The internet just exploded. Again. And this time, it's not over a rap beef, not over a mugshot, not even over a Blueface live gone wrong. No, it's King Harris, the Prince of Atlanta Chaos, dropping the most jaw-dropping confession of his life. T.I. ain't my dad. Yeah, you heard that right. The same King Harris who's been making headlines for everything except music just detonated a DNA bomb that has social media melting faster than ice in a Georgia summer. Within minutes, Twitter looked like a courtroom. TikTok turned into Maury, and fans started saying what no one thought they'd ever hear. Wait, what if it's true? Because this wasn't a random troll post. This came straight from King himself. Live, emotional, and dead serious. Ty. Mr. Rubber Band Man, Mr. Family Hustle, now caught in a storm so wild it makes the Kardashians' baby daddy drama look like a preschool playdate. Tiny's silent. The family's quiet. But the streets? They're loud. What could drive King Harris to publicly deny one of hip-hop's biggest icons as his father? What's the truth behind the confession that's got Atlanta whispering and Hollywood laughing? Let's just say this story makes Who Shot Ghost look like a bedtime story. It started like any other chaotic night on Instagram Live. King Harris pacing around, phone in hand, voice shaking, that usual mix of defiance and frustration written all over his face. At first, it sounded like another King versus the internet moment. He was going off about fake friends, fake fans, and people trying to play with his name. Classic King energy. But then, out of nowhere, he dropped the nuclear line that sent shockwaves through the entire hip-hop world. Y'all keep saying I'm T.I.'s son. Stop saying that. He ain't my dad! The live chat froze. The internet froze. For the first time ever, King wasn't trolling. He wasn't rapping. He wasn't clowning. He was dead serious. His tone had that rare combination of hurt, pride, and pure rebellion. Fans didn't even know how to process it. Was this a meltdown? A publicity stunt? Or a family secret finally slipping through the cracks? Within minutes, the clip was ripped, reposted, and remixed into 1,000 versions. Twitter threads turned into investigation reports. Reddit turned into a virtual paternity court. The hashtags the King Harris DNA, T.I. ain't my dad, and a family hustle gone wrong shot straight to the top of trending. People were dissecting every frame like it was the Zapruder film of hip-hop drama. Look at his face. He's serious. That tone ain't for clout. Somebody get Maury on speed dial. The internet went from laughing to gasping in record time. But this wasn't just about one shocking sentence. This was the collapse of a brand. The Harris family built their image on unity, hustle, and Southern pride. For years, they were hip-hop's version of the Obamas, a family that made it. T.I. wasn't just a rapper. He was the blueprint for the reformed street hustler turned mogul. Tiny was the heart. The kids were the legacy, and King? He was supposed to be the next generation of entertainment royalty, until now, because King didn't stop at that one line. He doubled down. He said, "Y'all don't even know half the story. I've been knowing this. I just don't care no more. Everybody fake." Boom. Internet meltdown, level 2. Fans immediately went into detective mode. People started comparing old photos of King to T.I. side by side, analyzing their features like forensic scientists. His nose ain't the same. Look at his jawline, that's Tiny's side. He looks more like Shekinah's cousin than T.I. It got ridiculous, but also suspiciously viral. You know how fast social media moves. By the time the second hour hit, blogs were already writing headlines like, "King Harris questions paternity," in Shocking Live, and T.I. caught off guard by his son's statement. Even TMZ posted the clip, with their signature neutral chaos caption. Developing story, King Harris denies T.I. is his father. And just like that, the Harris family dynasty, the one that gave us family hustle expeditiously and endless social media moments, was being dissected like a crime scene. The funniest part? T.I. was silent, no posts. No comments, nothing. Fans expected him to go live, clap back, or drop one of those "I'm disappointed, not angry" videos. But instead, crickets. That silence made everything worse. Because when you're a public figure, silence doesn't mean peace. It means panic. Tiny, on the other hand, posted one cryptic message on her story. "Some things don't even deserve a response." God knows the truth, which naturally made things even worse. Because now the internet had confirmation energy. People were convinced that something real was going on. Every podcast and gossip blog jumped on it. Hollywood Unlocked called it the family scandal of the decade. The Shade Room posted it 3 times in 24 hours. No Jumper brought on insiders claiming there's been tension between T.I. and King for years. Suddenly, everyone had a source, and honestly, they weren't wrong, because King's relationship with T.I. has always been complicated, publicly and privately. The two have been seen clashing in interviews, arguing on live streams, and disagreeing about how King's supposed to carry himself. T.I. tried to teach him discipline. King wanted freedom. It was a constant father-son power struggle, the old-school hustler versus the new-school rebel. But this wasn't rebellion. This was detonation. One insider even claimed that King had been distant for weeks before the outburst, skipping family events, deleting old photos with his dad, and hanging around new people, the kind that love chaos more than calm. And when that IG Live dropped, it all clicked. Fans started connecting dots from months ago. Remember when King said in another video, "I'm my own man, I ain't living off nobody's name"? At the time, it sounded like normal teenage defiance. But now it reads like foreshadowing by Sunrise. The narrative had split into 2 camps. Team, this kid's just acting out, and team, he knows something we don't. Team 1 said it was all for attention, that King was chasing viral fame again after his last controversy faded. They argued he's grown up in the shadow of T.I.'s success and wants to break out by any means necessary. That it's performance art, not pain. Team 2, though? They were dead serious. They claimed this had been brewing for years. Some even said there had been whispers of family tension since King was a kid, that maybe the math never added up. The craziest theory came from a viral TikTok that racked up 5 million views overnight. The creator showed side-by-side footage of Shekinah, Tiny's longtime friend, claiming years ago that Tiny's got more secrets than a diary. That old clip resurfaced and went nuclear. Suddenly, people were saying Shekinah might have been hinting at this exact situation all along. Meanwhile, 50 Cent, because of course he can't resist drama, jumped in. He posted a meme that said, "Wait, T.I. raising somebody else's lil dude this whole time?" And then added his own caption, "Atlanta turning into Maury Live." It was over. The internet had decided, whether real or fake, this was the biggest paternity scandal since Drake hit Adonis. And the wildest part? King didn't backtrack. He didn't clarify. He didn't delete the video. He went completely silent, leaving fans, media, and even his own family hanging in suspense. Because when the son of a legend says, "He ain't my dad," you don't just drop that and walk away. You start a digital wildfire that burns everything in its path. Reputations, relationships, and maybe, just maybe, the truth. By the next morning, it wasn't just social media losing its mind. The entire hip-hop industry had gone into full-blown crisis mode. Blogs were dissecting the live like it was a leaked FBI tape, while Twitter turned into a virtual DNA testing center. Everyone had an opinion, a theory, and a meme. But this wasn't just trending, it was exploding. Every hour brought a new update. TMZ dropped a headline that read, "King Harris sparks DNA controversy. T.I. yet to respond." The Shade Room reposted the live 5 different times with captions like, "Chile, not the family business being aired out like this." Even XXL magazine weighed in, calling it the most bizarre moment in the Harris legacy. And while the blogs had their popcorn ready, the streets of Atlanta were buzzing. Barbershops were debating it like it was the Super Bowl. Rappers were DMing each other screenshots. Even old school heads like Boozy chimed in saying, "Ain't no way, man. That's Tips Boy. They sound the same when they mad." But the real problem wasn't the jokes. It was the silence. Because the more T.I. stayed quiet, the more people believed it. The internet loves receipts, and when none come, they invent them. Fans started digging up family hustle clips, claiming they noticed awkward tension between T.I. and King. Some even clipped together a montage titled "The Signs Were There." It showed random scenes of T.I. talking discipline and King rolling his eyes, like the whole show had been a long, dramatic foreshadowing. And that's when the memes started getting surgical. One viral tweet said, "If King ain't T.I.'s son, who he belonged to, the streets." Another added, "DNA test finna come back and say 50% chaos, 50% Atlanta." TikTok was flooded with creators reenacting fake Maury episodes. One guy even did a skit yelling, "T.I., you are not the father," and falling off a couch. It was funny, but it was also humiliating. For a man like T.I., who built his brand on discipline, respect, and fatherhood, this wasn't just another rumor. It hit the foundation of everything he represented. Family was his crown jewel. And now that crown was wobbling. Tiny, meanwhile, was trying to play defense without playing defense. She dropped a cryptic tweet that said, "God don't make mistakes, he makes lessons." Translation, something's definitely wrong, but we're not going to say what. Fans took it as confirmation. The theory spiral got uglier by the minute. Podcasts couldn't resist. Hollywood Unlocked brought in a family insider who claimed King had been acting different for months. They said he'd been keeping distance from home, questioning his roots, and asking hard questions. Jason Lee called it the most explosive family drama since Will and Jada, and that's saying a lot. Then came the YouTube breakdowns, hour-long documentaries with titles like The Untold Truth About King, Harris's DNA Claim, and The Real Reason King Feels. Disconnected from T.I. One even claimed to have leaked text messages showing King saying, "I ain't gotta prove nothing. I know who I am." Real or not, the world was convinced something dark was brewing inside the Harris household. Then, boom. Out of nowhere, Shekinah Joe popped up. Yep, Tiny's outspoken best friend. She went live, emotional, dramatic, and a little too honest. She said, "People need to stop acting like that boy don't know what he's talking about. He hurt, and hurt people say the truth sometimes." The internet collectively screamed. That one sentence from Shekinah, someone who's been around the family for years, reignited the fire 10 times over. Everyone took it as confirmation that King wasn't lying. Bloggers titled it, "Shekinah Confirms King's Truth." Within an hour, her clip was everywhere. By that afternoon, T.I. finally broke his silence. He posted a black and white picture of himself sitting in the studio, with a caption that read, "Sometimes love don't get recognized until the world try to tear it apart." It was poetic. It was classy. It was confusing. Fans weren't sure if he was denying it or just dodging the question. The comment section went ballistic. "So is he your son or nah? We need DNA, not deep quotes." Man trying to turn Maury into a mixtape. Then, to make things worse, an alleged anonymous source told a gossip outlet that this isn't the first time King questioned his paternity. They claimed it's been a sore spot for years, that there'd been family tension behind closed doors. Now, the whole story wasn't just viral. It was radioactive reporters were camping outside, T.I.'s restaurant, Trap City Cafe. Paparazzi were spotted following Tiny. King reportedly went offline for a few hours, then came back with another cryptic post that said, "I'm done explaining myself. Y'all just don't know what I've been through." That post hit millions of views in under an hour. Even A-list celebrities were watching. Cardi B commented under a blog post with a side-eye emoji. 50 Cent, because of course it's 50, reposted the clip of King saying, "T.I. ain't my dad," with the caption, "Atlanta turning into Jerry Springer now." And then came the biggest twist yet. A random TikTok user claiming to be close to the family dropped a theory that blew the whole conversation wide open. They said, "It's not that King don't love T.I., it's that he found out something about his mom that messed him up. No proof. No sources. Just vibes." But it went insanely viral. People started speculating whether this was tied to those old Tiny and Shekinah rumors. Others said it had something to do with T.I.'s alleged infidelity from back in the day. Every rumor from every year came crawling back like ghosts of scandals past. And through it all, King remained silent. No live streams. No apologies. No jokes, nothing. That's what made this story even scarier. Because for the first time ever, the loudest Harris had gone quiet. And that silence was louder than any diss track. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, family insiders claimed there was a major fallout. Apparently, T.I. tried reaching out privately, but King refused to take the call. One insider said, "It's bad. They haven't talked." King's angry. He feels like nobody ever listens until he explodes. If that's true, it explains everything. The outburst, the tone, the emotion. Maybe it wasn't just rebellion. Maybe it was heartbreak, but the public didn't want nuance. They wanted chaos. And they got it, because that same night, someone allegedly leaked an old clip from the family hustle where T.I. says, "I love all my kids, even when they ain't acting like mine." It was from 2014, but now, people were spinning it into hidden foreshadowing. The caption on one viral post said, "He been trying to tell us." The comment sections were pure madness. "Ain't no way this real." "This family too rich for Maury." "This finna be a Zeus Network special in 3, 2, 1, and honestly, they might be right. Because at this point, the situation was bigger than family drama. It was a full-on cultural event. Think about it. One sentence from King Harris had hijacked the news cycle, rewired the internet, and forced one of hip-hop's most respected families into digital court. And whether it was truth, pain, or performance, one thing was certain: the fallout wasn't over. Because when you accuse the family hustle of being built on a lie, the hustle hits back. By day 3, the King Harris story wasn't a rumor anymore. It was a full-blown digital wildfire. Every blog, every radio show, every celebrity gossip account was eating off the chaos. It wasn't just viral, it was legendary. Hip-hop hadn't seen this kind of family implosion since Kanye grabbed a mic from Taylor Swift. The entire industry was tuned in, waiting for the next move. And this time, the silence was killing everyone. King wasn't talking, T.I. wasn't denying. Tiny was hiding behind Bible quotes. And Atlanta? Atlanta was treating it like an unscripted Zeus Network finale. Then came the exclusive interview. A well-known gossip podcast released an anonymous clip, allegedly a close source from inside the Harris family, claiming King had proof. They said King had known for months that there was a reason he felt disconnected and that he'd been trying to process it privately before finally snapping online. The host called it the biggest betrayal in hip-hop family history. Now, whether that clip was real or fabricated didn't matter, because the audience believed it. They wanted to believe it. The mystery had turned King into a cultural phenomenon overnight. His follower count skyrocketed. Blogs were tracking his every like and unfollow like he was part of a national investigation. T.I., on the other hand, looked like a man walking through a PR hurricane. Every post he made got hijacked. He could have posted a plate of food and someone would comment, "DNA or dinner, pick one." The man couldn't breathe without the internet turning it into evidence. Even worse, people started digging up old interviews, ones where T.I. talked about his fatherhood philosophy, calling himself a leader of the house. Suddenly, those clips were being turned into viral duets with creators saying things like, "Sir, this didn't age well." The internet had officially turned a family's private pain into public content, and T.I. had no control over it. Meanwhile, rumors kept swirling that King had moved out and was staying somewhere undisclosed. Paparazzi caught him pulling up to a studio in a blacked-out SUV with his crew. No T.I., no family, just King and chaos. One fan yelled, "You good with tip?" And King smiled, shrugged, and said, "Man, I'm good with myself." Boom, instant headline. You could feel it. The narrative was shifting. This wasn't just T.I. versus rumor. It was turning into King versus legacy. And then, out of nowhere, Shekinah came back. Again. She went live crying, saying, "I just wish people knew what that boy been through. Y'all think this funny, but it's deeper." The internet went ballistic. Every blogger clipped it, slowed it down, added sad music, and called it confirmation. Now people weren't just gossiping. They were speculating names. YouTubers dropped expose videos with clickbait titles like, "Who's King Harris's real father?" "The Atlanta connection they don't want you to know." These videos featured blurry side-by-sides of King and random Atlanta producers, stylists, and even security guards. It was ridiculous, and yet it worked. Millions of views overnight. The chaos had officially gone cinematic, and just when it looked like it couldn't get worse, T.I. broke his silence. He went live on Instagram, visibly tense, voice calm, but shaking just enough to show the storm behind it. He said, "Y'all want me to respond to nonsense? Now, my family don't do clout. I know who my son is, and I love him regardless of what he say." It was a solid statement, emotional, mature, heartfelt. But guess what? The internet don't care about heartfelt. They care about drama. Clips of his live were chopped up, edited with ominous music, and posted under titles like, "T.I. denies paternity drama, but sounds nervous." The man couldn't win. Then, just as things started cooling down, a photo leaked, an old, grainy throwback of Tiny with a man who looked suspiciously like a younger version of King, but definitely not T.I. The photo allegedly dated back to the early 2000s, before family hustle. Blogs lost their minds. Fans captioned it, Is this the real dad? And within hours, it went viral. Tiny's reps rushed to deny it. They said the man was a family friend, but at this point, the public had gone full detective mode. They were comparing birth years, timelines, and even hairstyles like this was an episode of CSI Atlanta. The story spiraled beyond anyone's control. By now, the Harris brand and the one that once stood for family unity was in tatters. Every talk show, every entertainment outlet, every gossip blog had turned their name into a keyword. And the craziest part? Nobody knew what was true anymore. The facts had drowned in memes and reaction videos. Then came the final twist. Final twist. Late one night, King posted a black screen with the words, "Y'all keep making jokes." One day, the truth gone hit different. No photos, no video. Just that line. It was eerie, emotional, cinematic, the kind of post that instantly reignites a storm. Within minutes, every blog reposted it with captions like, "King Harris suggests more secrets to come." By the next morning, hashtags like Dacian Truth About King and Dodge Family Hustle Exposed were trending worldwide. Tiny went ghost. T.I. posted a motivational quote about resilience. And King? He deleted the story, then unfollowed his parents. The silence that followed wasn't peace. It was pressure. You could feel it in every comment section, every reaction channel, every fan theory thread. People weren't just watching a family feud anymore. They were addicted to it. The Harris name had turned into the most watched reality show that wasn't even on TV. And that's the tragic beauty of the modern fame machine. One confession, one viral sentence, and an entire empire built on love, hustle, and family can crumble overnight. Was it the truth? Was it pain? Or was it just another moment of viral madness? Nobody knows. But one thing's for sure, the phrase, "T.I. ain't my dad," will live in internet history forever, echoing as one of the wildest scandals hip-hop has ever seen. And somewhere in Atlanta, the king of chaos just might be smiling at the empire he accidentally broke. And there it is. The family revelation that broke the internet and cracked the crown of Atlanta's royal house. One sentence from King Harris flipped the narrative, shook a legacy, and reminded everyone that in 2025, truth doesn't whisper, it trends. T.I. built his name on discipline, respect, and family hustle. But even empires can collapse under the weight of a single confession. And this one? It hit harder than any diss track he's ever dropped. King didn't just say words, he set off a cultural earthquake. Love, loyalty, DNA, fame, all of it collided in front of millions of people who were more than happy to turn real family pain into digital popcorn. The question now isn't if the truth comes out. It's when. And when it does, the internet will do what it always does. Eat, repost, and forget, until the next scandal hits. So what do you think? Was King speaking his truth or just unleashing years of frustration in front of the world? Is T.I. hiding something or just caught in the storm of viral exaggeration? Drop your theories in the comments, because Gossip Flow is watching the wildest ones rise to the top. Before you go, make sure you smash that like button like it owes you child support. Hit subscribe like you're locking in a DNA test. And turn on notifications, because here at Gossip Flow, we don't just follow stories. We expose them. This isn't rumor. This isn't drama. This is Gossip Flow, where the scandals run deep, the tea never cools, and the truth hits harder than Atlanta bass.